Obamacare. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Stupid people are ruining America.
The president just wants to take care of you. He just doesn't think you're able to do it for yourself.
There's a very thin line between communism, progressivism, Marxism, socialism.
The empire will strike back.
You still don't know that this was political.
Yeah, buddy. What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of America Our Way. I am your host, Dustin Hoyt. Great to be here with you on this late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Depends on when you're listening. I don't know, but I'm glad you are. Things have been a little shaky here at the show. We've had trouble getting it on the air at the normal time because I don't know how many of you know, but I've changed my work schedule, and so I'm actually working well after the show is over. So what I've been doing, and you avid listeners know this because you are avid listeners, you know that I have been recording them late at night and then posting them up in the middle of the night, early Thursday morning. It's just the way my schedule is. I work not overnights anymore. I used to work overnights, and so I would record early in the morning. My morning would be late at night for you guys. So I'd wake up early, I'd record the show and everything, and then I'd get it pushed out, and then I'd head off to work. Now, I come off work, get everything ready, and then I record it, and I post it online for you folks to listen to at your leisure throughout the week. And I gotta say, I think this one's gonna be a good one. I think this show is gonna be a good one. Lots of stuff to talk about in the news today, this week in general. Lots of stuff going on politically. I don't know that I'm going to get to touch on all of it, but I'm going to start with what pisses me off, as I normally do, because there's always something grinding my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. And it's been bugging me for a while. I couldn't find the clip, but I found it. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill O'Reilly has pissed me off. Now, many of you are avid Bill O'Reilly watchers. You're big fans of his. You like what he does. That's all good and fine. I actually started off wanting to be like him. And then I studied economics, and then I studied liberty and philosophy. And I learned how wrong he is on so many issues, whether that be gender issues or marriage equality, things like that. And I know these words are scary words. They're liberal ping words. I'm just using them because they're the first ones to come to mind. Damn you, liberal media. But such is life. And it all stems from, as you know, and I've said many, many, many times, and I beat it into your head, and I hope you've learned it by heart. I think that liberty is more important than a lot of these stances that people take. I mean, there's a reason Rick Santorum didn't win the presidential nomination, and it's because he spoke on issues that most Americans don't agree with. Now, the problem with O'Reilly is that he sticks to his guns on crap he shouldn't, and then he goes over to the dark side on issues he should stand firm on. This plants him firmly in the populist category. Now, a populist, ladies and gents, children, animals of all ages, a populist is an evil human being. A populist is a person who holds the opposite of freedom on virtually all issues. They think, well, what I understand as right and good is what should happen across the country. Be damned if you think different. And unfortunately, most Americans agree, and that is a problem. And it's not that they agree entirely, it's that they agree on one part and not the other. And that's the same with politics on many, many things, especially for me as a libertarian. You know, I agree with Democrats on social stuff a lot of times, but I disagree with their approach, and that is so quintessential. It's so important on how you get there. The journey to any destination is so much more important than the destination. And it matters, especially when it comes to politics, because it sets legal precedents. Now, legal precedence is incredibly important because it determines how other legal decisions are decided. Now, a lot of this sounds like mumbo-jumbo legalese, but that's okay. Let's say gay marriage. Other judges look at that and they go, this guy's making a lot of sense. Maybe I should say the same thing. And such is life. And they do rule, generally, along the same lines. Now, we've seen this in the gay marriage argument. All these states are like, the people have spoken and they don't want gays getting married. And that's all good and fine, except it's not. But we'll get to that later. I don't want to deal with that today. The point is, all of these same-sex couples are suing, and they're saying, hey, government, you can't treat us differently. We're people. You can't treat people differently. You just can't do it. And that's a fact. You can't treat people differently in this country. That's one of the things that makes it great. If somebody is a complete moron, we can't throw them in jail, stop them from reproducing, prevent them from working jobs because they get on our nerves, or throw them off a cliff. We just can't do it. We can't force sterilize them. We can't beat them with shoes because they deserve it. Son of a... Excuse me, we had a little hiccup here. I don't know if you caught everything I just said. I hope so. Technical difficulties. It's the bane of my existence. Anyways, a lot of people are not on board with this whole leave me alone policy. They think that if they and their neighbor think you're a jerk, they can throw rocks at you because the majority wills it, and it's not big government, it's local government. Those people are wrong because they just believe in tyranny on a small scale. Itty-bitty tyrants in little-bitty places. And that's not cool because it's the same principle. Now, I've had this argument before many, many times with other people in different places and many fascinating times. But the point is, how you get there matters. How you get there. Now, a lot of people, this is what I'm bringing it back in. I'm bringing it down to the level it's supposed to be. How you get there matters when it comes to making wages as well. Everybody wants to make lots of money, and it's great when they do, because they spend it, and the economy just keeps on a-twirling. Jobs are created, businesses can invest, technology advances, more jobs are created, more people spend money, and it just keeps on going and going and going. And that's how our system works. It is a top that spins itself. That's the best way to look at it. But then you get these people that think, well, gee golly, wouldn't it be nice if we just let everybody have a good wage? They should all make lots of money. They can pay their bills. I don't care if you flip a burger. If you do it for enough hours, you ought to be able to buy a house. And that ridiculous accent is just as ridiculous as the idea. Bill O'Reilly has jumped into this minimum wage camp. It's for the folks. I'm for the party, the labor. And you got to be for the folks. And I worked and I did minimum wage when I was a kid, and it was $1.30 and $1.30, and this was back in the Stone Age. Got to get on the right side of the issue. You're a pinhead. You can't talk because I'm making noises. And that's basically what he did. Now, I'm going to let him make his own argument and then rip it to shreds and support it with, people with more education and knowledge in the field. So we're going to go with that. So without further ado, I give you Bill O'Reilly being a complete moron on economics.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
This minimum wage madness, I mean, when are these pinheads in the Republican Party going to wise up?
Republican pinheads.
Okay,
all right?
well, and you're...
This is insane.
No, it's
all
not.
Right?
No,
$10 an hour for someone who wants to work and does a good job. It's not too much money in any part of the United States, from Homer, Alaska to Key West, Florida. You make an exception for the kids trying to break in, the teenagers, the students.
Screw those kids.
But the Republican Party putting themselves on the wrong side of economic issues.
The wrong side of history.
This is a simple issue. Everybody can understand it.
Except Bill O'Reilly.
Even the people at MSNBC can understand this. All right? That's how simple it is.
Sort of, you're taking on the imperialistic, elitist, leftist position here, telling the
I'm taking on the working class position.
Shop that
for the workers'
minimum wage.
For the workers, comrade. For the workers.
I was a kid at Carvel. $10 an hour?
Come on! I'm just going to say come on until you agree with me. Come on!
Let me finish. The guys at the lowest rung are the ones who are going to lose their jobs. They're not going to get the foot in the door, the entry-level jobs.
That's so much propaganda.
That's so much propaganda, quoting economists who have won Nobel Prizes and economic studies, and 75% of economists agree with you. That's such propaganda. How dare you learn economics?
There are very few businesses that can't afford that to get productive workers.
The rich comrades can afford to pay the lower comrades a better wage.
Not baloney. It's just baloney. They're on the wrong side of it.
Baloney, wrong side. Baloney, wrong side. Baloney, wrong. That's all I'm hearing.
Market, you're totally on the wrong side. You're the social engineer at this point, Bill. It's wrong.
I know. I want a fair wage.
You're going to get rid of these jobs for the people who need them the most right now.
If your guys keep doing this, the next election they'll win will be 80 years from now.
People want it, and even though it's stupid, they need to have it because they got to win elections. Screw what's right for the country, okay? Baloney!
Because they believe that individual business owners should be able to set their own salaries?
No, there's got to be a minimum wage or there'll be exploitation.
No, you can't have freedom. Freedom's bad. People will do wrong things to you if they're too free. Come on, baloney. Come on. Even an idiot can even MSNBC can understand. Come on.
So that decide how much mortgage brokers can make, how much car salesmen can make. That's what we're headed toward with this sort of social engineering and decide what the market can bear. Let the private sector determine that.
All right. Take a deep breath. You're way, way off in the deep end of the pool.
Deep end of the pool. Deep end. Deep end. Pool.
This is just the minimum wage of the land. It should be $10.
Get the government out of the way.
I'm out of here. You got to have standards or there will be exploitation. Ladies, thank you.
Okay, so as you heard, I have a problem with everything he said. And luckily, Kate Obshan was on there, and she handed it to him. And because he kept saying, come on, baloney, pool, deep end, all these ridiculous Bing phrases he has that makes him, he thinks it makes him cool because, oh, he's Bill O'Reilly, and it's gay. You gotta, listen to Bill O'Reilly. You call you a pinhead. You want to be called a pinhead? You come back on the show. Huh? Right-wing hate machine, Fox News. Nah. I can't stand this because it so clearly shows that A, he didn't do research, and B, he's just looking at polling going, so most Americans agree with this. I agree with it too. Ratings. See, the problem with this is that he's just so clearly uneducated, and I'm flustered. I'm frustrated. I don't know a great way to explain this to you. I don't know a way to tell you how wrong he is without being so derogatory and inflammatory and making weird noises. So instead, I thought I'd just let a Nobel Prize-winning economist who worked in the Reagan administration and taught at the University of Chicago do it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Milton Friedman 20 years ago, plus 20 plus years ago.
Because the fact is that the programs that are labeled as being for the poor, for the needy, almost always have effects exactly the opposite of those which their well-intentioned sponsors intend them to have.
As an example, what are you referring to?
Let me give you a very simple example. Take the minimum wage law. It's well-meaning sponsors. There are always in these cases two groups of sponsors. There are the well-meaning sponsors and there are the special interests who are using the well-meaning sponsors as front men. You almost always, when you have bad programs, have an unholy coalition of the do-gooders on the one hand and the special interests on the other. The minimum wage law is as clear a case as you could want.
Okay, now think about that for a second. Nobel Prize-winning economist says minimum wage laws hurt the people you are trying to help. So shouting, "You're for the working man," while you club him in the head with a rock does not make you for the working man. It makes you a murderer. A murderer of wages in this case, and jobs. Continuing on.
Special interests are, of course, the trade unions, the monopolistic craft trade unions in particular.